I recently received a comment on one of my videos, how to value land for development. So here's the comment. It says, "Hi Jim, you're saying if you want cheaper land, you will have to buy from parts of the country with the lowest house prices. We're looking for a non-profit making plot." Well, I'm not quite sure what a non-profit making plot is, for us to build a better, more efficient house to retire to. We have no intention of selling it on. If we were able to identify a potential plot in our area, no doubt the owners would want the same markup in your calculation, hence making it unaffordable for us. So essentially we would have to move to a cheaper part of the country with a lower markup. Hope this makes sense. Thank you. So I'm not quite sure who they think they are buying the land from, because actually as a developer what you're doing is you're presenting the case to the landowner what the land is genuinely valued at. So in the video, essentially what we're saying is that we have a house that once it's completed is going to be worth £400,000. So this house is worth £400,000. We then take off our profit, which is 25% of gross development value. As a developer, in order to get funding, a funder won't look at us unless we are achieving a 25% of gross development profit. So in other words, that's the profit on what the value is worth, the development is worth at the end. So at 400,000, we take off our £100,000, which means that we have £300,000 to spend on the land and the build itself. So if the build costs are 250,000, that means that the land is worth 50,000. Now, where people get really confused about this is that they go on the likes of Rightmove, Prime Location, Zoopla, and they find a piece of land, and let's say in this example it's being sold for £100,000, and they're thinking, okay, so I buy that for £100,000. In other words, they look at the equation the wrong way. I buy that for £100,000, I'm going to then spend £250,000 on building it, so now my costs are £350,000, and I'll make a little bit of a profit of £50,000. Now, that works okay if you are not looking to make a profit out of it. But what I don't really understand is that why you would not buy land like a developer. In other words, what could £50,000 do in terms of the finish that you're going to create for that house? After all, this is probably your dream house, therefore you want as much money to be able to spend on that, or at least reduce your borrowing on that as possible. So the problem I think this gentleman is looking to do is he's looking to spend too much money on the land. You shouldn't be paying more than what the land is worth. So what we do is that we look at land as an example. We determine what the selling value of that particular site once it's developed out, and then we take off our profit, and then we take off our costs, and that tells us what the land value is. And a lot of people say, yeah, but I've looked on Rightmove, I've looked on Prime Location, you can't buy land for that. That's because you're going about it the wrong way. You need to be looking for off-market land. We have a course, incidentally, which is aimed at finding off-market land. It's called Find It. I recently, well not recently, a couple of years ago, had a self-builder who booked a call with me, because we don't just allow anybody to come on these courses. We want to make sure that it's right for them and they realise what they're getting into. So he, when I told him it was £750, he said, that's absolutely ridiculous, because I can get it for £350 at Poton, or whatever the figure was. It was about half, or whatever it is. The reality is, cars are not all the same price. A Mini and a Rolls Royce are both cars. They get you to where you want to go, but the experience is very different. What Poton are able to do is, yes, help you find land, but not in the way that we do. We provide you with all the tools of how to assess land properly, how to value it properly, and then how to present that case to the landowner so that you can buy it at the right price. Now people will say, oh, but that's not realistic, you can't do that. Well, you should speak to Owen. Owen, one of our students, did exactly that. He purchased the land for £100,000. He did it through the process that we teach. In other words, he evaluated what the land was by showing the costs. He then went and presented this to the landowner, who initially was a bit skeptical, I have to say. And when he explained to him how he had arrived at these figures through should I say, full transparency, he accepted that was the value. Owen has now gone away and got planning permission. They didn't have planning permission, but he did de-risk it by using again some of the techniques that we teach in order to make sure that you don't end up owning land that you can't gain planning permission on. So he was able to do that. Out of a matter of interest, he decided to bring in a surveyor, and the surveyor valued it at £250,000 to £300,000, that piece of land. Same piece of land. That's what surveyors and estate agents do when they look at land for the open market. They say, oh, how much did that land down the road sell for? Oh, it sold for £100,000. Ah, that must be the value of the land. The reality is, because somebody down the road paid far too much for the land, doesn't make that the true value of the land. Developers couldn't develop houses. They couldn't build houses if they took that attitude. Why self-builders take that same attitude of, oh, I need to buy it, it's on the open market, that's why they need to pay for it. I don't mind if I don't make a profit. Yeah, but the 50,000 or 100,000 can make a nice difference to the build that you're making, or at least reduce your debt. I don't understand it. Anyway, that's my gripe, I guess. I don't know what you want to call it. But if you're interested in buying land off market and saving yourself and making an investment of somewhere between 750 or 2,000, 2,500, depending if you want our full program, which gives you everything, then and making a return on that investment of hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands of percent, then you know where to find us. Go to our website, builditandprosper.com, and book a call with me. And if it's for you, we'll accept you into the program. If it's not, then there's nothing lost. It's a no pressure situation. Anyway, if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, please subscribe now. Have a look around. There's plenty of videos here with lots of information. We're approaching almost 200 videos here, so there's lots of free information that you can learn from. And if you want to pass this on to somebody, then please like and share the video. Take care until the next time. Bye bye.